350,000 black women lost their job in the first 6 months of this year. But they talk about, oh, the unemployment rate ticked up a little, but it doubled, almost doubled for black people. What DEI was about black women who'd achieved a certain amount being taken from their jobs at one time. DEI has never done to America what GCI did. GCI is greedy, corrupt, incompetent white men. They talk about these things in an abstract concept, and if you look at the fact that black women are the most educated segment of our society, white men are the most uneducated. This was bound to happen. And the fact that there were a lot of black men and Latin men who helped this happen is something it's hard for me to reconcile.
You know what's really concerning to me is that, he didn't like the jobs report.
Right.
The one that he had touted before when it was in his
Right.
favor, right? Trump didn't like the jobs report. And so then he fired the head.
Hi guys, my name is Esther Daniel and you're welcome back to the channel. 300,000 black women in America lost their jobs this year. Not 3,000, not 30,000, 300,000. And the crazy part, this happened while overall US market was still adding jobs for other groups. So why are black women being pushed out while everybody else is moving up? First of all, this is not some random coincidence. This is the result of policy changes, systematic bias, and economic cuts that are hitting black women the hardest. Let's move on to today's episode. But before we do that, please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out.
Did you know that in just 3 months, 300,000 black women and femmes left the labor force? Yeah, in just 3 months. And that's not a coincidence. That's what happens when Trump's policies come for us first. He gutted federal jobs where black women have always found stability. Things like education, healthcare, public service, jobs that came with benefits, a pension, a little thing called security. Poof, they're gone. And then came the DEI purge. Mentorship programs gone. Employee resource groups shuttered. Networking opportunities blocked. Basically, they've ripped out every ladder that black women and femmes have used to climb. Student loan debt payments are back and have doubled. Mine have doubled. Black women also carry the heaviest debt load of any group because they're one of the most highly educated groups but don't have the same resources to get through school debt-free. And once in the workforce, black women and femmes only are making about 64 cents to every white man's dollar. Automation is also taking over jobs where black women have been overrepresented while we're excluded from the high growth tech roles replacing them. And here's the gag. Over half of all black households with children are led by black women and femmes breadwinners. I'm the breadwinner for my household, and every 1% drop in women's workforce participation costs the U.S. $146 billion in GDP. So when they push us out, the whole economy loses. And yeah, I'm feeling it personally. I mean, I left my job to do justice work, environmental justice, racial equity, community empowerment. And I've trained orgs, helped build programs, help communities fight back. But many of the organizations that I've worked with have backed away from this work out of fear. And that means that my contracts are vanishing. My income is tanking. And the work that I was told was too important to lose suddenly isn't being funded. And it's especially disheartening because meanwhile, I see fascists that are losing their job for saying something racist and boom, suddenly they have $1 million GoFundMe. But when justice workers are losing their livelihood for telling the truth, I'm seeing crickets. So if you want this work to survive, and I know you do because you're following me and we're learning together, the workshops, the training, the advocacy, we have to build our own mutual aid work network. And that means supporting people doing the work. My Patreon is open. I even have a $1 level, and every dollar helps to keep the lights on and the work moving forward and the fight alive. Because when we protect Black women and femmes placed in the workforce, we are protecting a just and inclusive future. And surely that's worth a few bucks, maybe. All right. Thanks for listening.
I am one of the 300,000 Black women who have lost their job in 2025, and I have some thoughts. It is no secret that being a Black woman in America is ghetto, period, point blank. But being a Black woman in the workforce, the masking that you have to do, the microaggressions that you have to fight, the code switching that goes on, all of the things, the hoops and the mental gymnastics that you have to go through in office, navigating social interactions with your coworkers is exhausting. If I was in office and had braids in my hair, my white male supervisor would loudly make a comment in front of anybody else who was in the office saying, "Oh, you switched up your hair. I almost didn't recognize you." Of course, this in turn makes people turn around, making you feel ostracized, making you feel put on the spot for literally the hair that grows out of your head and wanting to do a different style. Meanwhile, he's over there with 4 pieces of hair and a hairline that search and rescue is looking for, but I'm the one that's being put on display. Right. All of this to say, being part of the 300,000 Black women who have been let go from the workforce, I was a federal government contractor. I feel kind of lost in this moment. I've been applying. You all know how the job boards are looking these days, and I feel so liberated and so lost at the same time. Being in the workforce since 2015 when I graduated from college and working in mainly predominantly white spaces, the more I learn about the nervous system, the more I realize how wrecked mine has been and was, and all of which led up to that in my professional career. And if we even want to take it a step back, going to a PWI, and if we even want to take it a step back, it would be growing up as a suburban Black girl. That the 300,000 Black women in losing their jobs have been able to at least rest more than you have been before. I'm trying to find the balance between beating myself up and frantically looking for a job and actually letting my nervous system take a beat and realize what I had been going through and what I'm continuing to go through and what it was doing to me. And giving myself the gift of a calm nervous system is all I really want at this point, besides a paycheck. It's all I want for myself and for women who look like me. I'm doing my best not to tie my worth to the job that I had, the way I lost my job, and trying not to tie my worth into how quickly I can find a job. And these things happen now more than ever, and that there is a community of women out there that are going through the exact same thing I'm going through. Just trying to find the peace of mind that I need to operate in 2025 as a Black woman. So if you too are part of the 300,000 in the DMV area who have lost their jobs, I'm here too, and I see you because I am you.
Okay, but no, hold on. I'm so thankful that we are really on this topic of Black women losing their jobs, because can we talk about how they fired us? Because God damn it, I worked a full day, logged out, got a phone call 4:00. You fired. Turn the equipment in immediately. Huh? If you don't turn the equipment in, you getting legal charges for theft. Huh? And I ain't even got paid. So what the fuck did we do to America? My other sisters, what did we do? Tried to get an explanation. They felt like they didn't owe me no explanation. Cool. Filled out the unemployment shit. They ain't even responded back to that. I'm like, well, fuck. All right.
This year alone, 300,000 Black women have been pushed out of the U.S. workforce. The majority of these cuts have been in the federal workforce, where Black women are often well represented, and where equity offices have been the first target or the first to cut this year. And to give you a little bit more context, PG County in Maryland is the wealthiest Black majority county in the nation, where 65,000 residents actually work for the federal government, where 1 in 5 workers are federal employees and are making at least $110,000 a year. And one of the counties most impacted by the federal cuts has been PG County. The reason I want to talk about this is because, of course, the numbers are very concerning, but also I want you to see this in a bigger picture. These jobs are the foundation of local economies. It provides housing stability and also the ability to pass down generational wealth. So when those jobs are taken away, what happens is stagnation and also the inability to be able to continue passing that generational wealth down. And of course, it impacts entire communities. My Workforce Watch newsletter was released yesterday. My podcast episodes regarding this will be released this weekend. Now I'm going to run down the numbers and talk a little bit more in depth about this topic. So if you want to read more about this, go ahead and check me out on Workforce Watch Substack and Apple Podcasts or Spotify for the podcast episode.
300,000 Black women have lost their job. A lot of African American women do work for the federal government. We all know what Doge did. They really just took a bulldoze to the federal government and laid a bunch of people off. This is what I want to say about this to all my Black women. Because we are the strongest, because we are the most educated, because we are the innovators, the motivators, and the blueprint. And we have so much resilience because we fight against everybody, including our own men, unfortunately. So there's a lot of entrepreneurship and pulling resources together is going to happen because of this, absolutely. And I'm all for that anyway, because it shouldn't take us losing jobs for us to been doing this, should have been doing this. But this is what I would have to say to that. We need to pull our Black dollars again out of these corporations, period. Pull your money, and we need to rebuild a Black Wall Street, rebuild the Rosewood, the communities that we had previously that were doing just fine without intervention from white America and their corporate America. So it can be done. If it was done way back then, it definitely can be done right now. And we have no choice at this point but to do that. Even though it might be slightly inconvenient, it might take longer to get things because you're ordering it from Black-owned businesses, but our dollars need to go to our community. It needs to stay in our community and not go out. Period, point blank. You don't need to be purchasing nothing from the Walmarts and the Targets and not understand, food deserts and things like that. We gotta find our own people that offer what we need. And at this point in time, and especially in this economy, only the essential needs to be buying. And that's for anybody, including white America too, because we all struggling. But take your money from these people that don't give a damn about you. Period. And let's help each other. Let's get on these platforms. Let's make this money. Let's circulate this coin. Support your sisters. Support the people that's out here, that's small businesses. Put that money there.
Have you seen the devastating news?
To the economy now, where staggering numbers have been released surrounding Black women in the labor force. A new report shows more than 300,000 Black women have left the workforce in just the last several months. That's according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Whether you have been forced out or chose to leave like me, the system was never designed for us. It was never designed to love us. It was never designed to support us. Really, it's been designed to strip us of our individuality, of our creativity, of our greatness. It is designed to homogenize us. The first thing that I had to do when I left the workforce in 2022, it mourned the fact that I did everything right. I did everything that everybody told me to do. I was a good person, go to school, get a master's, be good to people, help serve, be kind, play their game. And in the end, it still wasn't enough. And it almost took me out. Please take this time to love on yourself and to realize that you haven't done anything wrong. You are excellent. You are great. You are talented. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not below. You are so creative and majestic. Don't let the workplace convince you that you're not those things. What it's going to require is that we take it upon ourselves together with God to become the answer to the problem that we were created to solve. It's going to take us coming together to partner up, to build together, to share our learnings together and wisdom together. This is the time. We're not going back. And I think we've known this was always coming, but it's time.
I think we're going through one of the times where we have the weakest leadership that we've ever seen in corporate America. And I think that's a big reason why you're seeing a lot of this right here. You guys stick with me for the next 60 seconds because this is a message that I feel like needs to be out there and I'm just not hearing it from anywhere. So, too many leaders want people to be quiet. They don't want people to push back. They just want you to go with the flow. And if you are one of those people who push back, who speak their mind, who share their experiences, who are willing to give real, raw feedback to leadership, a lot of times you magically find yourself in the layoff line. Leaders should want employees that challenge them. Look, when I'm hiring somebody, I run sales teams. When I'm hiring a salesperson, I don't want a yes person. I don't want someone who's going to agree with me every step of the way. I want someone who's going to push back. I want someone who's going to challenge me. I want someone who's going to force me to be better. I also want someone who's comfortable and willing and confident enough to speak up if I make a recommendation that's going to make their day harder. Because you know what? I spend a lot of time with my reps. I coach them. I meet with them. I sit on calls with them. But I'm not with them every second of the day. So there may be something that I come up with that sounds good in my head. And when I present it out to my team, if that's going to make their job harder, if it's going to make it harder for them to hit their number, I want people that are strong enough and confident to raise their hand and say, Justin, this isn't going to work and here's why. But most of you guys out here running teams, you don't want that. You want someone to smile and nod and go with the flow and not push back on you. And when you find the people who push back on you, you're quick to let them go.